Hi, my name is Hudson Kukowski. I am a part of your English 102 spring semester class, and today the topic that I will be discussing will be cancel culture. What is cancel culture, you may ask? Cancel culture is a tactic that is used to punish people for saying things that do not align with what majority of society believes. According to Lindsay Toller with Mental Health News, which I accessed on May 3rd of 2025, cancel culture is simply a form of boycott. It is the removal or canceling, hence the name, of a person, organization, product, brand, or anything else due to the issue that a community or a group might disapprove or find offense to it. This gives a great definition of what cancel culture is. It is unforgiving and allows for no room for error, while it gives the floor to judgment and oftentimes harassment. We have seen a rise in cancel culture near the time when COVID first began. Many believe that the reason that we saw this large rise in cancel culture is due to the fact that everybody was enclosed to their own home. They weren't able to openly communicate with others as they have been the rest of society, therefore causing people to forget how to properly communicate with others, which may have led to people, rather than discussing the issues and finding kind of middle ground, it allowed and it opened the floor to just complete blocking these people out of their lives as they had during all of the COVID pandemic. In this talk, I will be covering many different issues that we can see within cancel culture, and I will do my best to give reasons as to why we should begin to stray away from this culture as a society based off of evidence that I have found through many credible sources. Many times we will see that cancel culture is seen within more celebrities rather than an average person. They might say something that bothers a group of individuals, and rather than trying to communicate the difference in opinion, the group will decide to no longer hold any value to what the celebrity might say. The biggest issue with cancel culture is not only that you could be punished from one slip-up or minor error, but the most disturbing thing is that it may be something you tweeted or posted on a social media platform from several years ago that is what gets you canceled. An example of this would be with the streamer that goes by the name of PewDiePie. According to Lucy Todd with BBC that I accessed on May 3rd of 2025, the Swedish YouTube star used a racial slur in one of his videos in January of 2017. After the YouTube star used this language in the video, he immediately was canceled by much of the internet and society. While I do believe that this was entirely inappropriate for him to say and quite offensive, I do not believe that individuals should be judged purely off of one action that they have committed, especially if it was something that occurred almost a decade ago. I believe that people should be given a second chance and another opportunity to prove that they have a right to speak and what they say should be held to value. Now I would like to cover a couple of the issues the issues with cancel culture. The first one is that it divides society without people even knowing it. Rather than having a dispute or arguing and try to figure out what the middle ground can be, many people would rather just disagree, and encourages people to block the other person and no longer speak or hold any sort of contact with them. According to Brad Brenner with Therapy Group of DC that I accessed on May 3rd of 2025, from a psychological perspective, one of the critical concerns about cancel culture is its potential to stifle open dialogue and mutual understanding. The phenomenon of cancel culture can create an environment of toxicity and cyberbullying, where individuals are hesitant to express opinions or engage in discussions. This article, I think, does a great job of showing how people fear what the result of them sharing their opinion to the public could be. Society has become far too judgmental for people to openly want to express their own values and opinions, especially when they have the opportunity to receive so much backlash from the rest of the internet. The second issue that we might see within cancel culture is that it gives no second chance. We were all taught growing up that even if you make a mistake or you cause a problem, that there will definitely be an opportunity to fix that problem or even apologize to that person for the mistake or the problem you did towards them. However, in cancel culture, that simply does not exist. Many people want to immediately take things to the most extreme levels and destroy a person's entire reputation off of a single comment that may have been misinterpreted or taken entirely out of context. The crazy thing is that we can even see in the justice system in the United States, while it may not be perfect, they give second chances. You can commit a crime, you can do your time, and then once your time is up, you're released back into society and you can continue to participate like every other person. However, in cancel culture, if you slip up one time, you make one comment that it could be offensive to a group, depending on how they interpret it, you're just immediately shunned from society, and whatever you say no longer holds any value to anybody. The third issue that we can see within cancel culture is the limit that it puts on individuals' creativity in using speech. People are too afraid to share an opinion because of the backlash that they could receive based on what they say. This is an issue that limits our First Amendment rights to the freedom of speech. While I do agree that there should be repercussions or things to keep individuals from saying specific things, I don't believe that you should lose your entire reputation and just be entirely canceled based off what you say. I think we can all agree that if we had the potential to be canceled because of a thought or idea that might not be agreed upon within the bulk of society, we would not be willing to share those thoughts or those ideas. According to Dear Media, which I accessed on May 3rd of 2025, people ultimately hold back on sharing their thoughts on sensitive issues, not even because they fully disagree, but because they're worried that if they're misinterpreted, it gives the go-ahead for the world to publicly shame them. This quote does a great job of explaining how individuals might be feeling and gives reason as to why they may not speak up, and they feel as if they will be judged poorly based on what they could say. The fourth issue that cancel culture has that we see regularly in society is that the consequence for the offense is often disproportionate and entirely uncalled for. According to Steve Hassan with Psychology Today, which I also accessed on May 3rd of 2025, cancel culture has been called a negative, even toxic way of simplifying complex issues and encouraging snap judgment that can easily result in overly harshly consequences in less offensive situations. This shows that people do not want to fully understand what is going on in the situation and would rather assign a punishment that is unjust, just so that we can keep individuals from speaking out on a topic that they might find interesting. Now I'd like to summarize what we all covered. In the discussion, we first began with just defining what cancel culture is and how we've seen it in society. And that would be that it is a punishment tactic that is used in order to punish creative people who do not have beliefs that are aligned with the rest of society. Then we went ahead and talked about how this is most often seen with celebrities who may have posted or said something in their past, and they get punished for it even though they might no longer believe what they said to be true. We then covered the celebrity PewDiePie, who used a slur that, of course, completely inappropriate and uncalled for. However, we then discussed how the punishment may not have been fit for the crime. We then went ahead and discussed the 4 big issues within cancel culture. The first one we talked about was how cancel culture divides society into many different opinions, all hating each other, and they don't want to find any middle ground. They would rather just bicker and then just completely block out the one side from speaking to the other side. The second issue we covered is that cancel culture does not give people a second chance or an opportunity to fix their mistake, and rather it shuns that person from society. We talked about this and how we all growing up were told that we would have opportunity to fix an issue or a problem or even just apologize for it, where cancel culture no longer allows for that. We now see that they would rather, as we spoke on many times now, just completely block out that person and not give them an opportunity to fix their mistake. Third, we covered how cancel culture can limit society's creativity by not allowing them to have irrational thoughts that do not align with the common belief. This will keep limiting creativity every single day as long as we aren't willing to openly listen and understand different thoughts that may not be a regular thought that we have. And then lastly, we spoke about how oftentimes we can see that the punishment does not fit the crime, That's pretty self-explanatory, that many times people will say something that, while yes, very inappropriate and probably should be kept to themselves majority of the time, we can very clearly see certain times that they shouldn't be punished as harshly as they are. And that about concludes my belief on how cancel culture has become a bigger issue in society, and I believe that we need to extend everybody's right to the freedom of speech, and they shouldn't be judged immediately based off what they say.